What up, gangsters? How's everybody doing? I'm waiting on Pat. He's we can still continue, but since he's training for his fight, he's just running behind because he was just training this afternoon. Everybody can hear me well? Do I sound all right? I do believe Pat is there. Add to the stream. Hey, what's up, brother?
How are you?
I'm adding you. You are been added. Scoot your camera down so we can see your pretty face and not so much headroom.
You just hold the hell on there, Buster.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Can you hear me, Pat?
Can you hear me?
Good. Can you hear me? Hello.
Check.
Hello, Patrick.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
hello.
Well, I just a yes or no, if you can hear me, will suffice. There we go. Look at that. Got the state-of-the-art rims on the whole nine. Elon Musk gave you those glasses, didn't he? Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
I just got done training and I took a shower and now I'm trying to get food in me before we start.
We good?
Oh, yeah.
I can hear you.
Let's go.
I don't know what you're doing. Hey, I can
Let's
hear you.
go. Can you hear me? You're frozen.
Yeah. You sound like you're making out with R2D2, bro.
Well,
yeah, I'm here, man. I just don't know if you can hear me because you sound
I can
weird.
hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, he sounds messed up. Can anybody else hear Pat? Is anybody else having an issue hearing Pat?
Live comments. Alan Dershowitz just closed the Epstein list of abusers in court. Names will not be given out. Jeff just went away. You can hear me. All right. Thank you, Wes. I don't know where Jeff went. Can you guys see Jeff? Because I can't now. No idea what happened. Let me put this. I'm going to check out and then check back in. I don't know what the hell is going on, guys. Jeff's gone. Yeah. All right. Let me leave studio. I'll be back, guys. Sorry.
I'm here. I'm here. I'm fucking here. I'm here. For fuck's sake. All right. Hope everybody's well. I was just waiting Patrick to possibly join in. Maybe not. We've only done this a couple times, or whatever, a few times, and we always seem to run into last week or last time we did it seemed to work well, better anyway. It's never absolutely seamless, but I am back. I am back. It said, the StreamYard or whatever I'm using said there was a problem. So I don't know if they started over a whole new feed. Oh, here we go. I just heard myself. Sorry, I'm just trying to see what the hell's going on. Just making sure everything is still legit. Because I wanted to add these links to our different pages so other people can watch us do the Q&A as well. I don't know if you guys know, but I bought Fred Flintstone's computer off of him, so it moves like old people fuck, so bear with me. Appears to be doing all right, I guess. Anyway, what's up, guys? What's new? Yo, what's up, everyone? Can see and hear me. I am back. That's what's up. You can hear and see me now. Oh, there's Pat. There's Pat. Let's try to make this happen one more time, shall we? All right. Can you hear me, champion?
Yes.
Sweet. Yeah. Well, it is Wednesday night. Hey, Mr. Wilson, it's cool talking to you on Instagram. I got my Patriot Supply yesterday, and it will come in handy in case a hurricane hits North Carolina. It absolutely will. It absolutely is. And there was quite the waiting list. I get it. That was my girl just got hers. My daughter's mom just got hers yesterday, and she ordered it like in March. So there is a bit of a waiting list. But, it's one of those insurance policies, man. It's better to have it and not need it and need it and not have it.
Well, that hurricane very well could be Joe Biden.
God, wash your mouth out, dude. You speak poison with 2 tongues.
Yeah.
What's that about?
No doubt. No doubt.
So how'd training go today, brother?
Went good. It was 92 degrees out, and it was tough. I'm training out in the sun because we're fighting outside in the sun.
I was gonna say, yeah. You definitely want to be mimicking the conditions, right?
Yeah. I go. It's could be a hot one. It's supposed to be 85 to 90 that day at least. So.
Well, and I sweat on like a normal winter day, so that's gonna be awesome. Hopefully, being on camera with tons of sweat pouring down my face, it should be interesting.
Oh yeah.
Like, is your boy all right?
So I'm gonna try.
All right.
What's that? Oh yeah. I'm on my. I am on my. Don't know what's going on. I am on my phone right now, but I'm going to try and get back on via laptop and see if we can get this to work, because it's going to be a hell of a lot easier. I just don't have a. I just. Let me see. So so if you let me in double, we'll see. Then a broadcast.
Yeah, you're there now.
Okay. I'm going to turn this off.
We're there split screen. We're split screened up. Yeah, those old Las Vegas outdoor matches, man, or those old Jack Johnson joints, man. Like, where'd you go? Where the fuck did you go?
Now I'm here. I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound much better. Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I'm on my laptop now. So let's get this rolling, buddy.
Yeah, we're rolling. We're like 15 minutes in. It's all good. Questions, folks. Who has more power, the banking elite or the pharmacological elite? I would have to say the banks, because without the banks, nobody else is really doing anything.
Well,
banks really run the show.
Without the banks, we'd all be free and doing whatever the hell we wanted, right? I mean, let's go back to the Wild West of banking. Let's let them compete against each other, right? For my money, for my loans, for everything.
Free market? Oh my God, what is that? Is that real?
No shit.
Yeah, it's been crazy. I've been running around a lot today. I'm actually tired as fuck. We been finalizing some of the stuff related to the fight July 18th. My boy's going to be trading some leather with Michael second to none, former super middleweight champ. Should be very interesting. I'm actually super stoked for it, but
well, I mean, Michael and I had lunch yesterday together with Monty Cox, my former manager, and he's the promoter of the show, or one of the promoters. And Michael and I had a good talk. And you know, it's to be honest with you, I mean, it's really kind of a good understanding between the two of us of our mission here, you know, to bring the community together. And yeah, we're gonna knock each other around. Yeah. We're gonna slap each other a little bit, but you know, the main thing is that it's look, I'm not a spring chicken anymore, and neither is he, and I'm not looking to win a world title again. He wants to get his name back out there. I'll keep him in check, hopefully, with some kicks. You know,
there we go.
If he starts to open up with his hands, trying to put me away, I've always got the kicks. My kicks are actually working pretty well right now. So,
well, there's always those huge breaking of the rules, and just go for that double leg and just fucking drop some elbows, right?
Well, I
don't know how that plays out.
I thought I'd do that right away, right, just to let him know. Now
I can do this to you.
Well, the main thing is that
I know.
I think he understands.
He doesn't want to see any of the ground game. I can guarantee you.
Yeah. So we'll have fun. Look, if it was just a boxing match, he'd box my ears off, and you know that's a given. And I've gone 12 rounds with a lot of badasses before. Trust me. But he was on a different level, on a totally different level.
Let's say that again, bro. That was breaking up a little bit. What'd you say?
I'm just saying that Michael Nunn was on a totally different level when it came to boxing, even against other world-class fighters.
Oh, for sure. It was like the master of hitting and not getting hit. I mean, he was super defensive and such an incredible, accurate counterpuncher.
Yeah. Thoughts on the Maxwell arrest? I think. Look.
See, thoughts on Maxwell's.
Thoughts on Maxwell arrest is, in my mind, it could be a complete distraction for what they're really doing, bringing in a digital currency, global currency, and trying to implement socialism and all this lunacy with Antifa and Black Lives Matter and all this other stuff. You know, they're funded by Marxists, and you know, just remember that Marxism and socialism, communism it's for the little people. It's not. It's not for the billionaires and millionaires, right?
Well, yeah, and then who funds them, right? It's the bankers. It's always the bankers, the global bankers funding both sides to some degree. The powers that be. Yes, Nunn's defense was absolutely insane. Well, I mean, I heard she's in there singing like an absolute, singing like a canary. Ghislaine Maxwell is. And I just saw a picture today of Andrew what's his name? Andrew Fauci, with his Ghislaine's sister, Christine, who I forget her software company off the top of my head.
Yeah, wrote the FBI,
he's married to her sister?
database stuff, and they're all Mossad, or reportedly.
No. Fauci's married to Christine Maxwell.
That's reportedly what's being said.
Oh, well, I didn't know about that. If that's the case, then that's absolutely insane. But I did see there was a picture with them. But yeah, she developed this software that went into the DOJ, FBI, NSA, CIA computers that had just backdoors left and right. So they were just backdooring, spying on, us and
Good old
the
Israelis.
government.
The good old Israelis.
Well, I mean, they're definitely the tip of the spear as it relates to a lot of this new tech we got coming out, pre-crime and all this other stuff. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on. I heard Ghislaine's on suicide watch, which
That means
we know how
dead.
that turned out last time. That means she's dead, right?
DED dead.
Would you fight Cam Shamrock in a Legends fight? What was it, a few years ago, Champ? When I don't know who was fighting, when you and Ken and I think your broadcast partner Ron Crook at the time, or maybe it was Chevelle, I forget.
Ken
you
was
just kind of teased out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Right.
I said I wanted the winner. Of course, Hoist has ducked me the whole time. Hoist ducked me like forever. So because it's not like he's going to take me down and he can't outbox me. So it was
No.
I think knew that was a no-win situation for him.
One of the big, I'm just speaking as a complete non-expert or non-whatever professional, but it seemed like the corner of mixed martial arts, and specifically the UFC, really turned with Matt fighting Hoist. You really saw everybody with one discipline. You can't just do that, dude. And with obviously the militant fighting system, you guys were implementing all the different fighting systems, and that's why Matt was like one of my favorite fighters at the time, because he was a badass wrestler, strong as shit, could choke you out, could knock you out. I mean, he really was kind of the personification of MMA at the time, because he was doing everything. He could stand up, he could strike, he could slam your ass like he did Frank Trigg.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So one thing that not to get back on the other stuff, but there was something I wanted to say that Dershowitz got all the names of the people who reportedly were the abusers on Epstein Island. He got that sealed.
Oh, really?
He got that sealed. Dershowitz has been to friggin' Epstein's Island numerous times, right?
Yeah. So, well, like I said, I don't know how true it is, but Ghislaine's got video of a lot of people, supposedly celebrities, politicians, a little bit of everybody. So I don't know. I just think I'm leaning more and more towards what you've been saying all along, that we're just being played, bro. We're just being played, and that's pretty scary, because when it gets to a point where and for Valentino, good point. Nationwide coin shortage will push the move to digital. Yeah, they're pulling coins out of circulation. I mean, the gas station just down the hill, they're like, oh yeah, we'll take any change if you've got exact change. Absolutely, because we need it. That's Freya Valentina. She kind of I think she knows what she's talking about a little bit there. Durst didn't take off his panties. Oh my gosh, Fry is apparently a comedian as well. Zing!
That's awesome. So what are we doing, Jeff? What are we doing? I mean, are we going into a second civil war? Are we going to be able to avert this? Night of the Long Knives repeat? I don't think there's a Night of the Long Knives repeat, because, well, at least not in most places in America, because we all have guns. That's something that the Nazi takeover of Germany, as we talked about, the Bolsheviks and all the other nations, Pol Pot, all this other, they removed the weapons before they did this stuff. So that I think that at some point they've got to make that move with mass shootings again or something, man.
Yeah, I mean, and I whatever. If anybody's listened to this show long enough, even on our last show yesterday, I brought it up again because everything is becoming so painfully apparent. The show, Genocide Worse Than War. I've been seeing more than once from BLM or from whatever about how white people carry this recessive gene and they're subhuman. They're not human beings, really. And, I remember back in the day, the dude, I think he was like a black Muslim or Muslim, tell me about Yaqub, who made white people. He's a scientist, Yaqub, who made white people in a fucking, anyway, long story short is, they're creating that line of division where you no longer see your individual as human. So whether it's Darfur, whether it's Srebrenica, whether it's Rwanda, whether it's Pol Pot, Cambodia, in order for certain things to go down the way they go down, you can't see your enemy as no longer just someone you disagree with. They're not even human beings. So that's what helps facilitate genocide. Not to say we're there yet, but again, genocide just doesn't happen out of the blue. And I've been bringing this up for years now, several years. And I've seen this slow roll to kind of where we're at right now, to where in mainstream news, you're seeing tweets and reports of, kill. It was actually pretty funny, and unfortunately it was sad. It was spray painted on the wall. It was something to the effect of kill. They were trying to say kill the whites, but it said kill the wits, WHITS. It was like kill all the wits. It's pretty fucking hilarious. But the underlying undertone of, that kind of sentiment is, because I mean, honestly, bro, we've talked about it a lot, man. Like ISIS is funded by, is state sponsored, but you have a lot of useful idiots at the bottom who are totally buying into their rhetoric. Their boots on the ground, the rank and file, they're more than happy to go out and strap themselves to themselves. Meanwhile, the imams or the people at the top are just, controlling these guys as useful idiots. And as we've seen it through the Bolshevik Revolution or whatever, people are useful for a hot minute, but when they're done with you, they'll line you up against the wall and shoot you right in the face. So,
right. Well,
yeah, it's crazy what's happening. So to answer your question, I don't know if we're going into a civil war, man.
Jesse West is correct, though. He's saying that we're in a cold civil war right now. Ramping up, the intimidation, all the other stuff that's going on, the burning the cities. And I mean, you see the pictures of Minneapolis, dude. It looks like Beirut. It looks like Beirut did years ago, It's just buildings are just crumbling and burning and smoke rolling and cars are smashed and burned. And it's just, dude, in that quick, you pay enough money, load up enough buses with organizers, and you stir up some shit with some guy kneeling on another guy's neck, and it's off to the races we go. And that's how quick everything can spiral out of control. And this is something that we've been talking about for a long time. And I mean, a lot of people aren't listening. We said.
Did you see Fairgraves? Very good point. NFAC. They're like not fucking around again or whatever. It's some weird like some 12-year-old gave them their name. The group of folks, I think it was in Atlanta, where they were all done up, blacked out, blackface. Not blackface, but
they were marching the Stone Mountain, that mountain with
yeah.
Confederate generals carved on the side of it or whatever, right?
Yeah. Well, and like Yuri Bezmenov said, none of these organizations are organic. No revolution is organic, whether it's the white supremacists, whether it's the KKK, whether it's the new Black Panthers. Any of these organizations have been infiltrated left and fucking right, up and down. So when that guy came out the other day talking about, we'll take Texas, like, first of all, go fuck yourself. Second of all, it's like, I mean, you're just saying just super crazy shit like that. It's just like, all right, dude. All right, some Saul Alinsky. I mean, it's all coming to fruition. And I don't know, man. I really don't know. It's crazy that the media, I really want to see the media be dealt with this as well as these clearly insurrectionists, seditionists, domestic terrorists trying to fucking take down the United States. The media needs to be held as like some kind of an accessory to insurrection, to sedition, because they keep, I mean, as we've talked about many times, they keep pumping out false narrative after false narrative. But now this one is being used to literally undermine American culture, like America as it's. What is that?
Look at how attractive this girl is.
Lift it up a little bit. I can't see it.
I know. Target mask. The mask is required. Look at her.
Lift it up a little bit.
Look at her.
Lift it up more.
Look at her.
Target.
Look at her.
What the hell? She? She's got a dick.
We are surrounded.
She's got a dick and titties.
We are surrounded by lunatics, dude. We are literally surrounded by lunatics.
I mean, I don't give a fuck. You want to be.
And these are the people. These are the people dictating to us, dude. I mean, it's.
The one like 40-year-old or 50-year-old chick with the orange hair who was like whatever in the city council, or I mean, I don't remember where it was, but it's like, yeah. And that's what I've been talking. I mean, these are the people providing solutions. I don't give a fuck if you're trans or whatever, but this notion of this giving the green light and this stamp of okay of this madness that's going on, dude. Like I said last night on our show, someone sent me a TikTok of a policeman saying, "Hey, BLM or whoever it was has a rally coming up of defund the police, and they contacted the police for police protection at the defund the police rally. Like our boy Les was saying last night, and I'm glad he said it because we've talked about it too, and I don't want to be the only one thinking this. Like, they're making it fucking bizarre world on purpose. So you're like, what the hell world are we in right now?
Yeah, keeping us off balance by design.
Completely. I mean, that's totally.
Put the mask on, take the mask off. Put the mask on, take the mask off. And that's the thing that it's like you've said a million times. Dog training 101.
I mean, it is just it's more conditioning. It's more compliance than it is anything about. Again, not to say the Rona's not real, dude. I mean, over the weekend I found out, Brian Callen, Brendan Schaub caught it when they went to Texas. A couple days they didn't even really feel that bad. I found out a close family member had it. He's in his 20s. A couple days he was down, not even down for the count, but he was just sick, achy a little bit, and then he's fine.
Right.
I mean, again, and that's the other thing that they're part of this fear shit that's going on right now. If there's more tests, and I said this from the beginning, the more you test, the more positives you're going to get. But that doesn't mean like you need to start shutting shit down again because the daily death count is dropping. So it's just like
it's plummeting. It's plummeting. And we said, and I got on Tampa radio today, actually, and we talked about the conspiracy farm. And
sweet.
Tampa Bay Sports Radio, which is cool, where they talk Tampa Bay Bucks, all that stuff. And they asked me about coronavirus, and I basically said, why do you guys keep mispronouncing financial collapse? You guys, what is wrong with you? This is a camouflage jacket for the largest financial collapse in world history. So just stop it. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. And I've got a Facebook page of a friend that I was reading this stuff, and he's an attorney, dude. He's an intelligent guy. And him and all his friends are talking about, oh my God, these people that won't wear masks and they won't do this. And I'm like, are you guys are educated, right? You could go back even and in retrospect, go back and research the financial sector and know that this financial collapse was coming for a long time, but you all just refuse to even look at it and keep talking about this coronavirus. And that, do you understand what they're trying to use this for? To implement full-blown socialism and communism and total control over all of us, including you idiots who are aiding and abetting this process. I want to just strangle people and it just makes you just.
Everybody's on that Ralphie Wiggum and swearing they're helping and shit. And, God love them. People's, hearts are hopefully in the right place. But at the end of the day, still, it's, let's play. This is a chess game. This isn't checkers. I'm glad you feel like you're protecting grandma, which you probably are by wearing a mask, possibly. But to think that this is just about Rona is fucking absolutely insane. I mean, or George Floyd for that matter. I mean, this is all gone so far beyond George Floyd, Rona. Again, this is about control, like someone else just said in the thing. This is definitely more about control, and this is just the beginning, dude. The social credit, the technocracy, all that shit we're moving into, Internet of Things. We're scratching the surface, man. We are just scratching the surface.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Connor Newberry, he said we're really finished either way. We're headed for a full-blown civil war, topped off by World War III. I don't know whether we're headed for World War III, but anything could happen. We can't control what happens, but we can control our reaction to it and not buy into the nonsense. Correct.
Yes.
But it's the madness of the people that surround us. That's the scary part. Those are the people that get us all killed. They literally will do anything that the TV tells them to do. That's the scary part. That's why for 10 years, I've been trying to go way out in the country. I live in the country, but I mean way out.
Oh, for sure. Oh, shit.
I want 30 acres, 40 acres, 50 acres with a big pond stocked with fish, set up with solar panels, a well, all of that stuff. And, now I'm finally I've got 2 places picked out now where I'm real close to getting that have, houses and barns and all that stuff. So I can start setting them up, man.
Yeah, I remember this has been a few years, and I was talking to my boy. He like saw in my kitchen. He's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "That's my bug out bag. I just leave it there." He just laughed. Bug out bag. You guys are fucking crazy. And this is right around the time that I forget what hurricane hit New York. I'm just like, bro, there's nothing I can say to you. If you don't think emergencies can possibly happen, then that's on you. You know what I mean? But this notion that having a bug out bag is somehow paranoid. You just never know what situation is going to arise that you need to be prepared for. So. Whatever, that's not
100%. No, it's man-made.
Do you think SRA is real?
All the emergencies are man-made now.
Oh, for sure, and so many already have been. Yeah, what are your thoughts about Brazil and their plight? The World Bank is licking their chops to give them some loans again. Yeah, the Brazilian president, I think he got Rona, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. But I mean, who cares?
Not that yeah, exactly. Not that means anything.
What do you think about Brazil and their plight? The World Bank is licking their chops to give them some loans. Again, economic hitmen are at it again. Yeah, they just loan money that nobody can pay back. You can't pay back the interest, let alone the friggin' main loan, and then you own them, dude. It's
yeah.
SRA is satanic ritual abuse.
Oh, sure. Well, it's definitely real.
Yeah, it is.
Without a doubt.
Well, I mean, that's the thing that I tell people is, the Catholic Church is I'm no fan of the Catholic Church, considering what they've done to so many families, including my family. And my kids at one time were going to private Catholic school, and I pulled them. We pulled them. We took them out of there because I can't support that stuff, man. I can't support that mess that is. And the Pope, come on.
The Pope is dope.
The Pope is a piece of shit. Yeah. The guy at the top supports exactly what's going on. He's part of the problem. So, how do all our listeners feel about Freemasonry? Do they think it's satanic, evil?
I'm sorry.
I just want to hear. What's your woman?
Yeah, I mean that's another one of those like completely, dude,
as much as you're smiling, it's like, is your woman stripping next to the off camera for you or something?
No, I'm just she was cracking me up.
Like, what the hell's going on there?
That's interesting.
Yeah. Did we place bets? Yeah, they're going to kill Maxwell. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's a distraction. It's just another distraction while they're doing their thing with the currency and the Skynet. Now, I haven't seen Skynet, and any of you guys chime in, please. Has anybody seen the chain of lights, the Skynet satellites going up over?
It's not called Skynet. House. It's called like Sky something else. But Skylink, we call it Skynet because Skylink. But it's still the same kind of application as Skynet of AI taking over fucking everything, becoming, what do they call it? Self-aware. I think Whiskey Sour. What's up, man? Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, he said Freemason, giant club of knowledge seekers and business networks. One thing I will say is that Freemasons, it's like seen to get ahead financially inside a lodge is highly frowned upon. The first part I agree with. I have not seen them. I signed up for beta testing. I'll let you know what happens. Cool, Noel. But I haven't seen them either, and I saw them quite a bit early on, and then it's like they parked them on the sunny side of the earth, and they just stay in that area now or something.
Yeah, so I was like, I was wondering how could they go away? I mean, they can't just go away because I know there was an app or there was something where you could like track it. But I'm like, if it's in like some kind of geosynchronous orbit, you should be able to see it at a set time, like every once in a while.
Or the bulbs burned out.
I mean, I get it. It's the sun reflecting off it, but it was still like, because it was strange, dude, because you hit me up one night. You're like, dude, look up at the freaking sky. And then we wound up having Ray E on, who was down in New Mexico, and he saw it the same night. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, how am I missing this?
He didn't just see that, though. He saw Skylink up above him. He saw military helicopters everywhere and drones all over the place, all at the same time. Tell me how freaky that'd be.
Yeah. My boy Hoop's in the building. What's up, Hoop?
Jack Mays. Pat, you could get a job as an audiobook reader. Well,
hey, I'm the voiceover actor over here. Let's knock that shit off.
Well, and I can't read very well, so
I'm joking. You do have a great voice for that, dude. Honestly, you have that like almost that ASMR, like, all right, now it's time for sleep.
Well, it comes from screaming at fighters for so many years. My vocal cords are so scarred that my voice has changed over the years. It's like I'm trying to yell over
Cathal,
20,000 fans.
Cathal needs to stop telling me what to do because you are not my boss. If I want to hit up AOC and ask her if I can sniff her chair when she gets up, then that's my business.
That's disturbing.
Hey,
so disturbing.
We all have issues.
Oh, God. Uniform Commercial Code.
So, yeah, what's up? I mean,
What is Universal Commercial Code?
Yeah, dude. So that was the UCC, Uniform Commercial Code. I got into that years and years ago. Like, truth is in affidavit. Like, and that's when I started learning about the Federal Reserve and the UCC, I really started understanding word of art, like how specific words mean things, especially in legal documents. Because it's just like, when we had that conversation with Todd McGreevy, and I forget his boy's name, about the two constitutions, that gets into, that kind of goes down that path of the Uniform Commercial Code and how, it's definitely interesting stuff. God, it's been a long time since I got into that, but yeah, that's a kind of a big part of it. You do you, Jeff. Don't blame you. I mean, I'm really joking because AOC's kind of gross.
Well, I mean, that would be, a different kind of encounter, wouldn't it?
Sniff away, Godfrey. I'm assuming you meant Jeffrey, but yeah, I did. Cathal, you're right. Pat has always had a secret crush on Nancy Pelosi. He's into.
She was actually attractive.
Octogenarians.
She was when she was young. That's the thing.
Someone told, Admiralty law as well, the yellow fringe on the flag. Someone told me she slept with Kennedy back in the day. I mean, she's so pulled and tucked now and just kind of like almost like an automaton, like she's kind of wound up and then they send her out. And when her batteries go down, she has to stop and recharge.
Dark and light Luciferians. I mean, Lucifer.
Is there such thing as dark and light Luciferianism?
Lucifer means a light. I know that.
Right.
When it comes to morals.
Well, and again, it's everyone wants to.
If you read the book Morals and Dogma,
Albert Pike. When I was
if you want your brain scrambled, have you ever read that, Jeff?
Yes, I have years ago.
I mean, I've read it and went, wow, my brain just got scrambled.
Yeah. Well, and again, like when I hung out with Eddie Bravo and Sam Tripoli last summer, and he started talking to me, he started going Eddie Bravo on me, which was awesome. And I love Eddie, but he was saying certain things he was using certain names about Satanism and Luciferianism. And he was saying that, filtering that through the lens of Christianity. And I just don't, whatever, not even really getting into that. I'm not particularly a religious person, but these archetypes, these images, these individuals, Lucifer, Satan, it's not like they say it in the Bible, like this bad red guy with horns and a pitchfork. Like these are symbols of more ancient shit. And even Luciferianism, or Lucifer, if you will, like you said, is supposedly the light bringer, and it has more to do with, and correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody out there, it more has to do with like a constellation or more stuff with celestial type stuff than it does an actual person. And that's the thing. We've taken a lot of these things and what they call, I think it's called anthropomorphized, making them into humans. So yeah, it's
so listen.
It's interesting.
You want to hear something funny? These guys are characters. So I've got some Croatian friends out east, and yes, Albert Pike was part of the New World Order. I mean, he was part of securing the the central banking money for the South to build its war machine, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, a lot of people believe he was the big driving force behind getting Lincoln assassinated also. So I don't doubt it at all. But I've certainly never found proof of that. But these two guys out in Connecticut, I'm partnering with these guys on a new business. It's a clothing business called Offensive Bastards, and it is just clothing basically that is offensive. Everything on it, right? We've already trademarked not made in China for shirts, and the labels will say made in the USA. Or we're debating on that, or not made in China on the inside of the shirt, right? Because everything's going to be made in America. We're supporting American made, of course. But he said Tucker Carlson just gave a shout out to all the stupid white bitches in our hometown of Greenwich, and he goes, I can't wait to watch it later. Don't tell me exactly what he said. So these guys are laughing their asses off right now.
Wow. Yeah, it's good to be offensive sometimes, honestly, within the world of PC culture and this bullshit.
Don't you guys think that Kanye West running for president is to take Biden out? Won't a lot of liberals vote for Kanye?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think they will. I mean, I mean, even though Kanye espouses conservative views, I think that most liberals are so confused that they'll vote for the black dude, right? They just don't give a shit.
I mean, he's really kind of been shitting on, he's getting black folks off the plantation. Jeff? What's that?
Doesn't that make sense to you?
Well, yes and no, but I mean, he's been shitting on the whole Democratic, like getting black folks off the plantation, mental slavery, if you will, from the Democrats, because they're the ones who, with the Great Society and Lyndon B. Johnson, has been splitting up the family, keeping, blacks, on the dole, pumping out more kids, gives you more money, removing dad from the home, keeping them really dependent on government and not so much like we were talking about before, blacks owning banks, financial security, financial independence. They don't, as much as they claim the Democrats to really care about black people, they just want to make sure they're still on the plantation and not really becoming self-sufficient. It's more about just keeping them dependent, keeping them fearful, keeping them in that mindset of like, everyone's against you. You're a fucking consummate victim. But, what do I know?
They've done a wonderful job, a very effective job of destroying not only the black family, but the American family in general.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, and that's not to say that, there obviously isn't issues, but it's become weaponized. It's become exploited to the point where it's weaponized, where generation after generation just votes a certain way because they just do. Hey, can you grab me one of the...
Sorry.
Yeah.
Had to get a nibble.
Bill Hicks says legalize marijuana. Well, they pretty much have.
Russell Simmons started a bank. Last I counted, there were 38 black-owned banks in America. That's it, in the entire country. And that's something that Jeff and I have talked about is, if you want to free black Americans, number one, in all of America, you figure out a way to open up banking to minorities a lot more, right? And once you're able to do that, then they're giving out loans to minorities for businesses, for mortgages, for all this stuff.
Yeah,
and freeing minorities from being held down, and that's an important part of it. But on top of that, the most important part is then you basically educate the Latino and black communities about the Federal Reserve and about the criminality of it, that it is the biggest crime syndicate in the world. And that's where, no more usury, right? That's it.
Right.
And that's where we finally are able to get rid of that. And everybody asks for decentralization of the banking system, and that our Treasury prints a gold-backed interest-free note. And, we're obviously going a different direction right now. And most Americans have no clue. Most people, period, around the world just don't know about the central banking system. And that's what, there's a reason it was never taught in public schools, man. Right?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and per that conversation too, man, it's like, when you can control your economics, economic power equates to more political power too. I mean, black folks, they have, I forget the number, dude, but I had it not too long ago. Like a lot, their basically disposable income or their gross income that they spend is like fucking huge, dude. For the first time, it's like over, I think, $1 trillion or something like that. But then they're out spending it outside of their community, which is fine. You can do that, but also, create, black-owned grocery stores, black-owned banks, black-owned schools and shit like that in your communities, because the politicians will then have to really listen to you when your communities are flourishing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
More people will want to invest in your communities when they're flourishing. But right now, it's obviously by design how these communities have just been made to fucking just implode on each other. The crime is through the roof, etc. But again, I think the financial aspect, like you said, is a huge, huge component. No, that's not going to stop everything as far as, because you can't legislate or economically get out of, the sickness of racism goes all different directions, and it's a spiritual, psychological thing.
I'm going to get some water. Keep talking.
No, go for it. I'm going to close this door. We bailed. Compound interest, usury is the root of global evil. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different aspects to it, man. There's so many different aspects of. But who knows with this whole new reset, this economic reset that's coming. I go to my local convenience stores and they're like, we don't have coins, and I mean, it's just bullshit. If you can, please just pay with your credit card. I mean, they're trying to get rid of cash. Hope y'all don't have ADD. It's hard to keep up with comments and talk. That's all right. It's not too much. It's not too much.
So
it's good to be able to chat with you guys, honestly. I think this is a great change of pace. Obviously, Pat and I talk to incredible guests and talk to each other all the time, but it's really cool to be able to just chop it up with you guys, even if it's not political shit, talk about my proclivity to sniff chairs when women get off them. But that's just my own problem. But, it doesn't always have to be the fire and brimstone.
So this ASICS Tigger says the Talmudists train the U.S. police and fund Antifa. How do they?
The ADF. Well, the ADF. Supposedly the ADF, the Israeli Defense, or the IDF, is training. The knee on the neck move supposedly is what he's alluding to. Is something supposedly from that many police force have used. But apparently, a lot of these police forces, Minneapolis included, have been trained by the IDF. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've heard that multiple times.
Well, and I've trained law enforcement for over 20 years, and I've never taught them to do that. If you're going to kneel, you kneel on the shoulder blade to hold them down, and that stays, for the most part, off the lungs and the neck and all that sort of stuff. You stay on the upper torso so that they can actually breathe. But unfortunately, when they call it a pig pile, when a bunch of cops jump on a guy, you can't breathe, you get suffocated. And people have died from that. There was footage of a white guy that was screaming he couldn't breathe. And
in Texas, I forget his name, Dennis Trejo or something like that.
They were laughing about it, and he coded on him and died. So that's the thing, is that and I'm gonna go through this again because I've gone through it again before on our show. All the years that I've trained law enforcement, I've seen, and I've talked to a lot of cops where they're lowering the hiring standards, man. And these cops had a lot of pride in what they did. They were good at what they did, and they were confident, fit, strong people, who could get a situation under control a lot easier. And when you lower the hiring standards, physically and mentally, now you're bringing in people that physically can't take care of themselves, mentally, probably maybe not the sharpest people for the position, psychologically maybe not able to deal with the stress. And I mean, that's a stressful job. Certainly now it's insanity. But then you're dealing with people who are scared to death. They're not getting any training. They cut their budgets, and these are all in liberal run cities where all this stuff was going on. So they were doing it deliberately, and just eroding law enforcement, eroding all of it. And then, now you're seeing people getting shot by, unarmed people getting shot, which still doesn't happen as much as they try to lead on that it happens. But, and now they're defunding law enforcement because of the shit that they caused in the first place, right? So,
Right,
you know,
right.
if you want to keep, look, man, if you want to keep voting liberals in, man, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. You know, that's the definition of insanity. Keep doing what you're doing and expect a different outcome over and over. It's not going to change, man. So you guys got to, you guys, everybody's got to start voting for people with common sense. I don't care I don't care what party they're from. If they have common sense and aren't compromised, for God's sakes, you know, unfortunately, most people.
Well, yeah, that's a huge part of it too. Yeah.
But now,
well, and what scares me, man,
when I think about that, when we talk about compromise and they talk about dark to light, this Q movement and all this other stuff. I follow Q. I have since day one. I waffle back and forth because some stuff they're right on, some stuff they're not. Stuff doesn't come true, whatever. And we've seen that numerous times. That's why Jeff calls it hope porn. But you know, it's.
Well, the only reason I say that, and we've talked about, we've never seen accountability, bro, with any of the egregious shit we've talked about on here. And honestly, and I'm not going to say I'm signing on to Q because like I've said many a times, I have my opinion, but my opinion doesn't have me. If Q winds up doing what it said it was going to do, which was mainly round up this fucking pedophile, satanic, ritualistic abuse ring, which involves so many people, I will be more than happy to say I was wrong. And I'm going to say right now, bro, I was very disheartened when Jeffrey Epstein died. And I was like, damn it, they just buried it. And then old girl was just able to go out and skate and do what she's doing. The fact that they have her, I'm not saying I'm signing on to Q, but that is pushing it more towards rounding up this, because she knows, her and Epstein, they knew where the bodies were buried, dude. They know who everybody is who was involved in this shit. Right. The flight manifest of all these guys, whether it's Bill Gates or Bill Clinton or even Donald Trump or whatever, she's the keeper of the cheese. So we'll see what happens with this. I don't know. I honestly think they're going to sit on her until the election, because they're going to drop, if this is what's appearing to be, they're going to drop hammers right before the election.
Or not.
In my opinion. Yeah, or not.
Yeah.
I always stay optimistic, dude, because, you know, like I said about Q, I want it to be true. But we still have the official story of Lee Harvey did, you know, that business up on the floor with the shitty rifle. We still have, you know, there's just been no accountability for so many of the egregious things we've seen. So now all of a sudden, for them to suddenly care, I'm just cynical, dude. I mean, I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I'm just super cynical. I just don't see it happening. But God, I certainly hope it does.
Well, at the same time, I mean, you know, when you talk about Lee Harvey Oswald,
is Q quantum AI? What'd you say, bro? I'm sorry. I was just reading a question.
No, as far as the Kennedy assassination papers that were released right after Trump was elected, you know, in those documents, it showed the diagrams of the autopsy from the doctor himself, and it had the entrance wound of a bullet in the front of the neck, and the, you know.
But we've known that forever, though. That was
sure,
a tracheotomy. Yeah.
What I'm saying though is they were released to the public, right? It was actually truly released to the public.
But again, that information, those documents have been around for decades. But what troubled me was when the CIA came to him when he was going to release them and said, no, you can't, even though that date, I forget what it was, 20, whatever, it was supposed to come out. The CIA came to him, was like, no, you still can't do it yet. There's still national security shit at risk here. And he kowtowed to him and didn't release the rest of them. Because that tracheotomy thing, that's been around, that was in the movie JFK, right? I mean, that's been around for quite a while. So that was definitely unfortunate. And who knows, you know, I don't know who we talked about it on our show, but like, I've never ran a country before. So I've never had to make a lot of these hard decisions, but at the end of the day, it should be pretty fucking cut and dry as far as, you know, are you supporting, you know, truth and getting to the bottom of these things? Are you still like playing cover for the machine? So, I mean, I don't fucking know, dude. I don't fucking know.
So
I'm super cynical. So
does anybody know where this happened, where these people were arrested for not wearing masks? Have you seen that?
Arrest? No. Fined in California. The first fine is $300. Where's this at? That's what they do.
My point is arresting people for not wearing masks. Florida. Okay. Thank you, Sydney.
Which isn't even a law; it's just an order.
That is insanity, man. That is insanity. That I think that those people that were arrested and the lady that you saw there was saying, I saw the video earlier, and she was saying, "I am going to sue the shit out of you. I am going to sue the shit out of this state. I'm going to sue the shit out of this county. This is unconstitutional." And people are waking up, man. People are waking up.
Yes, and that's just a part of it. From the medical side, that application of arresting people for really not breaking a law, but just an order or whatever the fuck, to someone I was talking about or listening to the other day about, and I'm not, whatever, hydroxychloroquine is a useful treatment for COVID, and they know that. And then in hospitals, they're disallowing people from having this as a treatment, and people are dying. And then, as you talked about, people getting put on ventilators. And when they start talking about how these things are being financially incentivized, from COVID positive tests to ventilators to death certificates, I mean, the fucking level of lawsuits that are going to come from this, once things calm down and the truth really starts to come out and everybody's fear is, they're not fucking freebasing fear all day. It's going to be insane, dude. It's going to be insane. Some of these, whether it's the media and or medical industry, they're going to be charged with potential crimes against humanity, bro. Because that's what the fuck this is.
The thing is, I think they already should be. These are crimes against humanity. They're massive amounts of suicides going on around the country. People losing their houses, people not being able to feed their kids, men that were working their asses off, no work now for 5 months, going on 5 months. I've been out of work for over 4 months. And look, I'm not the wealthy guy people think I am, because I fought in the UFC and I'm a UFC Hall of Famer and all that stuff. And because I'm on TV, I'm a middle class guy, bust my ass, do my best, take care of my kids and all that sort of stuff. And things have not been easy for me either. And it is absolutely, and so many things have gone wrong during this lockdown, for so many people, including myself. I mean, the best mentor I've ever had in life died suddenly from a screw up during a minor surgery on his bulging disc in his back, David Clark. I've got two very close family members that have been diagnosed with cancer. I've had, just things go off the rails over and over and over in this 4 months, along with the pressure financially and all the other stuff. And I put my house up for sale long before this thing happened, because I knew the meltdown was coming. That's how sure I was of this financial collapse, right? You trust me, you can put your money where your mouth is. I did that. I put my house up for sale because I knew it was coming. So all these people would call me a tinfoil hat wearer and stuff. They can kiss my ass. But I have to, reel in my emotions and it's tough, man. It's tough. And so I'm refocused. I went through some tough stuff, man. And I'm just totally 100% refocused. I've been praying a lot about this and talking to guys that are alphas and, have a lot of support, including Jeff, people that give a shit, and we got to stick together on this, man. And we got to look out for each other. That's the thing that I tell people, is that conservative thinkers, and especially alphas, alpha females, alpha males, we're used to being on an island, so to speak. We're efficient, business. We're kind of try to be rocks in whoever's lives we're in, or whoever's in our lives, And the liberals are totally different. These lunatics band together, as you've seen, in massive groups and burn shit and destroy stuff, where we're like, okay, just don't come to my house. Just don't come to my house. Just don't come to my house, because I got to kill all of you, right? Where we're the ones that now need to band together and march on state capitals and march on courthouses and march. And when Antifa is gathering and planning on burning stuff, we all got to get together, and we're going to walk down there, and we're going to have to run them out, man. We're going to have to run them out. We need to use their language. We need to use their language. And I'm not saying that we have to go down there with the intent of killing human beings and hurting human beings, but I can tell you this, that we have to. That's the only language that they're going to understand, is intimidation.
And again, not only does silence equal acquiescence, like going along with it. I mean, just don't play the fucking reindeer games, man. The best way to win is not to play. We went through this shutdown before, Fauci and you motherfuckers, and your math was off. So now that you've seen you're talking another round of shit about 100,000 this, 100,000 that, you lost your credibility a few months ago. And like you were saying, suicides are through the roof. In many cases, higher deaths of suicides than fucking corona. It's not happening again. If you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you want to social distance, social. And I'm not going to walk. I have common sense too. But, you know, stay your ass at home if if you're freebasing all the fear. We have a living to make. You know, people have children to feed, mortgages to pay, rent to pay, car insurance. I mean, it's just this notion that people are now not able to make a living or being forced to make that choice of making a living or following these bullshit orders when, the coronavirus, the positive tests are going up, but that doesn't mean more people are dying. More people, the deaths per day are completely dropped off. And that should be the healthy indicator. We all might get this shit. Coronavirus is just one of the many. Coronavirus 19 is just one of the many different types of coronavirus. The cold being one of them. You're going to be okay. If you have a compromised immune system, from that regard, old people, compromised immune systems, dealing with other shit, pre-existing conditions, be mindful of that. But you don't shut down a fucking country and people's livelihood because of that.
Well,
you don't do it for the flu. You don't do it for pneumonia. You don't do it for the 500,000 people who die from cigarettes or, it's any of that shit. None of it makes sense.
Well, that's the thing. They shut it down to mentally screw everyone, split everyone apart. They gave everyone a safe space, 6 feet apart. That's your safe space, right? They're millennial training, right? But now they're training everyone in millennial training. That's the problem. And people have to stop, just snap out of it, just fucking shake your head and snap out of it, and realize that this is all a crock of shit. And like I said, if hardly anybody listened, or even half the people would have just said, you know what? No, I'm not going to close my business. Absolutely not. I can't do that. I'm going to lose my ass. I'm going to go belly up. I'm going to lose my house on top of it. People don't realize that don't own businesses that, I've owned businesses. I've owned commercial buildings. I have to sign my house on the line as collateral. So if I go belly up, I lose my house too. And then my family's homeless, and you can kiss my ass. And that's, we're all essential. We're all essential to our children. And feeding our children is essential, and feeding, and paying our mortgages is essential. So,
and for these unelected bureaucrats, technocrats, literally nobody voted fucking Bill Gates or any of these cocksuckers in to be directors of world global health policy or any of that shit. And they were wrong before. You and I couldn't prognosticate what's going to happen and have it be so fucking wrong and then be taken seriously, weeks or months later. That's not how it fucking works. I mean, again, people just need to tell them to go fuck themselves. And honestly, ladies and gentlemen, this is, and the only reason, they can give you a citation or whatever, which you'll never pay, almost like the red light cameras, which are deemed unconstitutional. Everyone needs to go talk to their sheriff, their local sheriff, and see what fucking page they're on, because they're the ones who are going to have their guys come and knocking at your door or showing up to different places, possibly taking you to jail, like the video you just saw.
Yeah.
They're literally implementing and trying to enforce unconstitutional, illegal orders. They're not laws. They're not laws at all. Nobody voted on this shit.
Well, here's the thing.
Unelected.
Yeah. Sidney Shaw saying 6 foot facial recognition, optimum operating space. That is, I've heard that for quite a while. And that is very interesting. And then Jack Mays says, Pat, lead the militia. I'll join.
Oh, yeah.
If this is the Jack Mays that I know from fighting, if Jack, tell me if you're the fighter, Jack Mays, because I'll follow you, you big bastard. You can throw blocks for me.
And what we're seeing about masks too, like the level of air quality and what it does, toxifying, inhaling CO2, putting more labor on the respiratory system, compromising, weakening your immune system. It's just. And like you said before, like we said, Fauci's, one day don't wear a mask. What the fuck are you doing wearing a mask? Now it's everyone must wear a mask. That's the reason the spike happened, because people weren't wearing masks. Like, no, that's not why the fucking spike happened.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Alpha Male Buddhist from Brooklyn podcast. Facts. So David Clark was a Buddhist. He taught me a lot about Buddhism, man. I believe a lot in Buddhism, and that's something that I have to absorb a lot more of, the acceptance. Like step one in Buddhism is accepting that tragedies will happen, right? Just accept it. And that's the thing. It's like big time. That's a big time deal.
Well, and that's the thing. People get into so reactive, that reactive mode. It just is like, we can't be living in that, like, fear. The worst decisions are made based off of, fear, stress, etc. I mean, that's just not how we need to be living, dude. And now that's the thing. You watch.
I gotta address this because several people have asked. Yes, I did get a DUI. I went almost 2 years sober and got a DUI. Had a lot of shit going wrong, and so anyway, yes, I did get a DUI, and I'm back on the wagon right away, and going to meetings and taking care of my business.
Well, and on the piggybacking of that, I mean, all of us, man. If you're not,
it was stupid. I actually pulled my truck over, knew I shouldn't be driving, pulled my truck off the road, and went to sleep, and still got in trouble. But it is what it is, man. I have to accept it. And deal with it, and back to meetings and stuff. And I'm just one of those people that obviously I can't drink. I just can't drink. I do everything 1,000%, whether I'm training for a fight. I train. When I train, I train, and no matter what I do hard. I do hard. So yeah, I don't have any intentions of drinking again. So thank you though.
Well, again, anybody could easily, toss stones and judge people, but it's like, I swear to God, like, we all have been going through it. And I'm just saying my own personal shit these last few weeks, dude. It's just like,
it's been tough.
It's been tough, man. It's literally been insane. I can't thank you enough, man, for last weekend hanging out with the 4th of July party and everything. Like, I needed that so bad. The days and weeks kind of preceding that, specifically the days, my mind's just in a bad place too, man. It's just between the uncertainty of life, livelihood, job, my kids. Yeah, no, it really is, man. My youngest daughter is really going through it. My oldest daughter is I'm about to be a grandfather. She's about to have a young son, but my grandson coming up soon. And then just considering the nature and the climate and everything in the world we're in, it's just like, and that, again, it's by design, man, to keep everybody just, we're all responsible for the decisions we make, but at the end of the day, they're creating an environment where we're all just like, what the fuck is going on? You know what I mean? None of this makes sense. And we try to articulate the best we can on the show how up is down and down is up. And that's what makes it so frustrating. Like, we're saying how everybody's so fucking compliant to these individuals, whether it's government or these technocrats, unelected, that are trying to dictate how we're supposed to run our lives and have a livelihood.
Well, and like
I mean, if people really need to go see the fucking suicide numbers. It's absolutely insane because of this environment that's been created.
And that's the thing is, the blessing of our governor here in Iowa, when she came out right away on Facebook Live after Muscatine County said that masks needed to be mandatory, and said that nobody has a constitutional right to demand that of citizens. I'm telling you, man, that was when I heard that, I went, that woman's standing up. Like, she's standing up. She's sick of this shit. She's recognizing it. And then the mayor of Bettendorf, Bob Gallagher, who's been on our show before, and we didn't go too deep in the down the rabbit hole with him, but
we saved him.
But he's a conservative thinking guy, and he recognizes a lot of what's going on right now, and I think that it's gonna take people that are governors, mayors to just finally stand up, and citizens, where I'm just not going to wear a mask. And if they go to write me a ticket, I'm just going to go, you might as well just throw it in the freaking garbage, because I'm not going to sign it.
I'm not signing that.
I'm not showing up for court. I'm not showing up I'm just not doing it. I'm not doing anything wrong, So I'm just not going to, I'm absolutely not going to abide by unconstitutional laws. That it is dog training 101, 100%. So I have to.
Well, and I don't know if you could speak to it. I'm not sure what the progress you guys have made, but you guys have kind of set up a small business coalition of sorts in Iowa. So when that does come back down, these edicts and these orders are rendered here in the Quad Cities, specifically Davenport is where you're at. It was more of a, no, we're not doing it, man. We're collectively as a group of small businesses not going to do it. And that's really what it's going to require, man. Just a pushback.
Right. Well, and we got to get back on that business and family stability poll that we had out. You know, we got to send that back out, because that's going to be needed, because they're going to try and pull some fast ones here going into fall and winter, saying that the COVID's back, and now they're saying there's a new swine flu that can be passed to humans.
Yes,
China, of course,
the bubonic plague.
And you know, it's like somebody was saying today on Twitter about, you know, why do all these pandemics come from meat markets in China? And I said, meat markets, is that the new name for Wuhan University laboratories? What the hell is that?
Right. What is it? The wet markets where the fucking bats are? I mean, just horseshit nonsense. But yeah, they are trying to ramp it back up again, right as, you know, it's about to start getting cooler, not colder yet, but, you know, kids going back to school. They're about to roll out another whole line of freaking, you know, Pavlovian measures that we all have to follow.
Yeah, and Islamic, you are correct. The worst thing people can do right now is constantly watch cable and be on social media. It's perpetuating depression.
Yeah,
that's no doubt, dude. That's no doubt. It is, and you know, this is having an effect. I can see it. It's having an effect on my kids, man, and it's having an effect on everybody's kids. You know, my 6-year-old, my poor 6-year-old. Imagine her mind watching TV or looking around the world and seeing this and this lockdown, and we can't go to school and all this. Think of how badly that's affecting my daughter, right? And that's the thing that makes me angry. When I look into my beautiful kids' eyes and I think, there's people evil and they're literally going to just take their freedom, and potentially these people are cutting off food. They're destroying the food chain. Farmers, remember, wasn't that long ago, farmers were euthanizing thousands and thousands of pigs on every farm. Cattle, putting down cattle because they couldn't get them to market and they couldn't afford to feed them. I'm telling you, man, these people would starve us in a heartbeat, and they would starve my children, and they would starve your children. And that's why these people need to be brought up on charges. These people need to be drug out in the streets, the bankers, the politicians who are responsible for this, and they need to be held accountable for this stuff, period. End of story. And, you know, people call me an extremist. No, man.
No, it's not.
I'm for the Constitution. I'm for my fellow citizens, the government, and for all we know, Trump's involved in this. For all we know, that I hope to God he's not. But if all these politicians on both sides, which we know they play golf together, we know they send graduation gifts to each other's kids and all that.
Exactly.
Yeah, we know, man. So you know, at some point, the citizens, it's us. There's nobody coming to rescue us, man. It's us. That's going to be us.
Well, and that's, again, man, before we slide up out of here, that's what is so frustrating, how these politicians, man, and even certain police forces are letting this shit happen, specifically more the politicians or even the media, giving these people a platform to talk this nonsense, and how a city like Seattle could be taken over even for a fucking couple weeks. Like, that's not law and order, dude. Like, I don't give a fuck what your grievance is. Do it the fucking right way. Go to City Hall, get an appointment with the mayor, do what you got to do. I mean, what happened in Chaz, Chop, Clap, whatever the fuck it was, people were being raped, killed. Like, that's not okay, man. That's not okay.
And being extorted for protection money.
Yes, dude. And that's not a kind of new normal that any of us need to or want to be a part of or normalize. But that's what's so frustrating, man, how it is definitely being almost normalized. Like, come on, man, they're pissed about XYZ, or, if you don't like this, you must be raised, or whatever the fuck it is. How they hijack the narrative once again to create this new normal, which is absolutely bizarro fucking world. It's BLM has explained who they are. Conceptually, you understand Black Lives Matter, police corruption, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, that's a whole separate conversation than what's happening right now. BLM is a fucking Marxist group that is paid by some big, big money to completely usurp the American way of life. This dipshit's talking, DJ Jam Master fucking Dick Licker Scratch and Sniff, whatever his name is. He's talking about, I want to take Texas. Okay, good luck. Of all the states you want to take, good luck. And yeah, you're right. Yuri Bezmenov did speak about this. That's why it was great to have Jared Griffin on.
Hey, you know where I'd prefer? Texas is tough enough, but they could go to Little Rhode Island and try it, where that's the mafia capital of the world, and get shot there too.
Again, none of it. It's literally, it's almost WWE once again. That guy, I don't know if you guys saw the bald dude talking about, well, take Texas. He was literally just cutting a promo. He was a fucking wrestler cutting a promo, and that's really all it is. He knows he has no fucking intention of doing any of that shit. But again, they're trying to create this new normal and radicalize a bunch of youth who are like, yeah, I'm down with that. Fucking Texas, or yeah, let's kill the wits, or all these just different attacks that are happening against people. It's, dude, like we talked to our people last night, man. Les and I think Ron from one of our new sponsors, or even Sonny Puzikas, they don't want the smoke that will come if this shit really goes live. You could throw your fucking snap and pops and your firecrackers and your Molotov cocktails and dye your hair fucking purple, whatever the fuck it is you guys are doing. Go ahead and keep doing that shit, dude. But when the real pushback happens, which I'm not saying I want to happen, but when that tipping point happens, dude, Katie bar the fucking door.
Yeah,
it'll be a wrap. It'll be a wrap. It'll be a fucking.
We'll get to Charles Lieber in a second. But yeah, no, I mean, I've been lucky enough to spend a lot of time around a lot of tier 1 operators and the scariest dudes on the planet, and there's a lot of them that are former tier 1 operators. I mean, a lot, and those guys are just sitting back. And the meme, we talked about it last night, that says, wait until the guys that just wanted to be left alone get involved. These are the guys that are the A team. These are the guys that have seen combat a lot, and they're the tip of the spear type guys. And just talking to one of my friends one time out back in my house one time, I think it was last summer, and he's former Navy SEAL, and he goes, dude, do you know? I mean, even an entire National Guard unit, what I would do to them, do you even remotely understand? I would kill, and Sonny Puzikas said, he goes, I'd kill one or two of them and the rest would run, right? Because they would have no clue where it came from, how I did it, any of that stuff. People just have no clue, man. When these guys get pissed off, that's like, I'll just carry their water. I'll just carry their water for them, and is that what they're pushing for, though? That's the bigger picture. Is this what they're trying to get citizens on the right to fight back and go out and kill a bunch of people in defense of themselves, in defense of their cities, in defense of their towns, and then all of a sudden martial law is declared, and now a total lockdown, and the military moves in, and you got Marines on street corners and all of that. So, and we can assume that these things just happen out of nowhere. But as we've said and we've seen, this has been going on for a long time. Genocide, civil war just does not happen overnight. And we're literally seeing the same playbook play out, what has created certain civil wars or genocides in other countries in the past. That's why, as a history guy, it's so great to see, it's interesting to see these patterns. So I don't look at it as something that just popped up out of nowhere. And when you look at things like Agenda 21, when you understand the eugenicists and their operations, what they're going for, you understand that this is all a part of it. And unfortunately, we just fall for it. We're extremely tribal human beings, and they understand that. So when they play these groups off against each other, whether it's religious, ethnic, racial, sexual orientation, political, they just play us off against each other. And we seem to fall for it every fucking time. And again, when they're done with playing us against each other, it just doesn't look good for the useful idiots who were kind of a part of their plan. But right. I don't know, man. I don't know. We are in the middle of some really, really crazy shit. And as much as I wanted to just kind of go back to fucking normal, I don't see it happening, man. Because we have the elections coming up in about 3 months, and I just we've been saying it. They're going to play the groups all up against each other. I truly don't think there's going to be an election. I don't think there's going to be an election. I don't think so either. I think there'll be such massive false flags, or they're going to turn these lunatics loose again, to the point where, violence, in potential. I'm surprised there wasn't more violence at the Oklahoma, the Tulsa Trump rally, actually. But I guess it was very calm. I mean, I saw a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds saying there's no violence here at all, man. So that was surprised stuff didn't happen over the 4th, man. The 4th was pretty freaking quiet, considering what was supposed to happen. Antifa and their burning flags with face painting, which I think was a bit of a psyop. I think there's a lot of fake
and disinformation, trying to get to see who's reacting, who's mobilizing. I mean, I think there's a lot of intel to be done based off of some of this fake mis and disinformation, kind of counterintelligence to see who's doing what, who's reacting, who's showing up to these events. You know, again, there's a lot to this shit, man. But I don't know.
And it is quiet right now. It is quiet. Something's coming. Something's coming.
It's eerily quiet. It's eerily, and the thing is, we've all watched this shit trick off for long enough where it's like literally, it's like all fucking right. Where are the adults? Who's gonna come and squash this? No, I'm serious, because it's like, you know, you hear the shit in Chop or Chaz or whatever, where people being raped and killed, or the video of the guy who got hit in the head with a skateboard. He runs away. They attack him. He pulls out and shoots one or two of them, and then he gets charged for aggravated assault or whatever. Which I think that he'll have to get off. I mean, if he has a decent enough lawyer,
the charges were
that
dropped.
watches that video.
The charges were actually dropped against him.
Did they? Okay,
Yeah.
well, that makes sense, because that would have been a waste of time in court. Because I mean, they were just literally defending themselves or defending himself. But I mean, it's, you know, the couple in St. Louis here who had that gate ripped down. You know, it wasn't peaceful protest. I mean, if you're peaceful protesters and you're tearing up private property, you're no longer a peaceful protester.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, with BLM and Antifa declaring their intentions of going to the suburbs and taking what's theirs, quote unquote, you would be a fucking fool to see these groups walk down your street and not strap up and protect yourself and protect your family and protect your property.
Right.
And again, the inversion of reality is these people are looked at as bad guys. It's not even fucking racial. And the people who are falling for that, go fuck yourself and eat 10 bags of Richards, dude. Because I mean, you're just easy fucking prey, and you're just falling for the most simplest of narrative. It's like you know, the Minneapolis person, defund the police, and then she hires her own private security. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
all of this is a big psyop, dude.
I got information from a friend of mine who he's now a Madison, Wisconsin police officer, and he said, "Dude, you wouldn't believe it up here." And we know, my daughter looked at going to the University of Wisconsin, and dude, all the windows, all the houses and stuff, it's like, you know, just ultra liberal, psycho, left wing lunatics up there, and whoever it is with all the money is bailing out people who are charged with murder, rapists, all these hardcore criminals, and it's like they're getting set for sending them out again, right? They're getting them all out.
Someone sent me some information on certain police departments expunging gang databases, bro, and releasing a bunch of gang members and expunging their databases. Or I don't know if that's real or not, but it's just one of those fucking. We're seeing prisoners being let out of jail and prison, etc. And again, this is right on time with the Bolshevik Revolution type shit. Removal of the police, releasing criminals. I mean,
putting a badge and a
gun
on criminals and then turning them loose.
If it ain't broke, don't break it. And I'm telling you, it's worked for them.
Once we recognize that has happened, if they got rid of all the cops in my hometown, and then all of a sudden it was cops I didn't recognize and they didn't look right, then we've got a problem, right? And so people need to be paying attention to that everywhere. And
and again, even before the Floyd thing, I was saying you were saying, look at how people are behaving and their belly's still full just based off the COVID shit. Yeah. And you're going to have cops dealing with civil unrest to the point where, and I thought it was just going to be based off COVID. It's like, you know what? Fuck that. This is not worth it. But we're seeing now cops doing the same shit with the COVID thing plus this civil unrest. But it's still happening. Cops are dipping out, catching early retirements and this and that. But, you know,
and they're going to be replaced with people that are not desirable. Trust me.
I mean, dude, St. Louis over 4th of July weekend, numbers went through the roof. Chicago, New York has been going through the roof. This notion of getting rid of police means
shootings everywhere. Yeah.
Means there's no crime is just so fucking stupid. I mean, there's no other way to say it. This is straight R word, short bus, carpet class, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It is retarded. I mean, that's just so we're seeing it. You get rid of the cops and look at what's happening. We still have cops and look at what just happened in St. Louis. And Chicago's been setting record after record almost weekend after weekend. But you don't see the dressed up Power Rangers, the guys, the Black Israelites, or any of those fucking cocksuckers. You don't see them out in the streets that are hugely affected by black on black crime. They're coming down here trying to intimidate people, talking about reparations or any of that bullshit, which we can have that conversation if you want to. But look at where the crime is happening in the worst. And you're out here talking about whatever else. Go clean up your own shit. Clean up our own communities, dude. And then come out here talking about XYZ. But when you have numbers, I mean, little kids getting caught in crossfire. Why aren't these guys patrolling their own streets like the original Black Panthers did? The original Black Panthers were the shit. They were tired of getting fucked up by the police in California and Oakland, etc. They created a community organization where they were feeding their kids breakfast in the morning, hospitals, etc. And the feds have to develop COINTELPRO to go enter, and fuck it up and have the leaders kill each other.
Right.
But that's, and they were policing their own streets. So violence was at a low. But now that's not what we're seeing. And I mean, I just known about the new Black Panthers and the fuckers anyway. It's all co-opted. It's all government ran. Whether it's the white supremacists, the KKK, right, whatever iteration you have of these kind of groups, believe me, they've been infiltrated.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, we had Dave Zadie on a couple of years ago, and
when we first started,
he told the story about when he was a young agent in the FBI, and mind you, he rose to be assistant deputy director of counter espionage in FBI, and then assistant director of something else in the CIA. I mean, he was like fourth in charge of both of them at one time in his career. I mean, he's a bigwig, but when he was young, he was talking about in the 60s, laying in the woods with his .38 revolver in a 3-piece suit with the other FBI agents, and one FBI agent says to him, he goes, "Hey, Dave," he goes, "Dude," he goes, "like, we've infiltrated this KKK so much that like half the dudes at this rally are FBI agents." He's like, "At what point do we just pull the plug on this thing?" Right. So that's the way it's been for a long time. So we know that they've been infiltrated. We know that they're being funded, and
again, Yuri Bezmenov said no revolutionary groups, none of this shit is organic. And this was in the 80s. And he was piggybacking off what G. Edward Griffin was saying since the 60s. When you look at these things, don't let it, you said it many times, don't let your emotions dictate your fucking behavior, your actions. It just, no moves are made out of an emotional frenetic state. Calm the fuck down, take a breath, and realize nothing is what it seems. Do some fucking homework. Stop watching mainstream media to think you know what's going on in the world, because that's not there to inform you.
Right. Yeah. So we've been working on the solution. People taking training from, whether it's Sonny Puzikas, whether it's, other groups, the gentleman that were on with us last night, Les, we're going to be posting that information on our website. We're going to be talking to them again also. So that civilians can go out and get high-level training. And
it's up there. Go check it out. DistributedSecurity.com. They're incredible guys, man. As the police are gone, we're going to be needing your own security. So like I said, no one's going to come save you. Save yourself. Get trained to be hard to kill, ladies and gentlemen. The best defense is a strong fucking offense. And even if you have a business or a home you want protected, that's what these guys do, man. They have certain teams and they're able to be operational within 24 hours. So DistributedSecurity.com. Check them out. They were on last night. Check the episode we had with Les and Ron. Really good guys. And they're providing a service that has always been around, but as we're seeing here in the last few months, is becoming more and more urgent.
Yep. Learn, get yourself some weapons, learn how to use them, get some high level training, and know what the hell you're doing with them. And that way, worst case scenario, you can take care of yourself. And when the cops come to investigate the crime, they're putting chalk lines around other people and not you.
Not you. Hell yeah, dude.
Yep. So
all right, brother. We've been pumping this out. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead before we wind this down.
No, that's okay. And remember also, you got to keep yourself healthy with chemicalfreebody.com/farmer.
Promo code farmer as well.
Promo code farmer. Sorry. So chemicalfreebody.com. Our good friend good friend Tim James, who owns that. His fulfillment center is now about 25 miles north of me in Comanche, Iowa, which is amazing.
So cool.
So now I can
really
just drive up the road
that.
and just rob them, just take all kinds of
I know, dude. That's so awesome. Tim's been awesome. We got him coming on next week.
Yep. Then also blackoxygenorganics.com/Pat Miletich or /Jeffrey Wilson. blackoxygenorganics.com/Jeffrey Wilson or /Pat Miletich. You guys can go there. Now let me explain Black Oxygen. 45% more oxygen at a cellular level.
Jeffrey
Milicic.
Wilson or Pat
Jeffrey
Milicic,
Wilson
either
or
one.
Pat Milicic. It's the
It
best
all
stuff
goes
on the
into
market.
the coffers, ladies and gentlemen. No, without a doubt.
I've been approached by supplement companies for 25 years because of my fighting career, my coaching career, my broadcast career. Nothing even comes close to those two products that we just mentioned, chemicalfreebody.com and blackoxygenorganics.com, Jeffrey Wilson or Pat Milicic. So get yourself some. Trust me, you will freak out when you get this stuff in your system. It will turn your life around, turn your health around. So we got to stay hard to kill. We got to know how to fight. We got to know how to shoot. We got to know how to work knives, and we got to be healthy enough to do it. So there you go.
Health is wealth, man. I'm telling you. You don't want to be, the older we get, the more necessary it is to be making these stronger, healthy choices, because you don't want to be, I see it more and more. Even friends I know, they got the Monday through Friday pill case of 10, 4 or 5 pills, and
America,
one has to counteract this
pharmaceutical, buddy.
It's absolutely insane. So yeah, please do that shit, you guys. But yeah, we're going to try to, again, it's been crazy the last, few weeks, but we definitely going to try to remain consistent on doing this live Q&A every Wednesday. Maybe not next Wednesday because it's fight week and Pat might be a little bit tied up, but the following week after that and the weeks to follow, we just want to continue having these conversations. Again, Pat and I obviously enjoy doing our show, talking to the guests, but something that has been lacking over these years is us kind of talking to you guys, just shooting the shit. It doesn't always have to be fire and brimstone. Again, me talking about sniffing AOC's chair. We can talk about that. You know what I mean? And many of other things. So I can't even begin to tell you.
I just don't think you're getting on Fox and Friends with that line, bro.
Well, that's all right. That's all right. I will take that as a badge of fucking honor. You guys, seriously, man, the messages we get a lot of messages about, hey, where are you guys? We got a message not long ago. This guy told me like our shows helped him be a better man. Like, I don't even know how to process that shit, but I cannot begin to tell you enough how much I fucking love our friends, family, and farmers, how loyal you guys have been and are. And you're just absolutely just very caring and loving messages. Of course, you can't please everybody, but man, for the majority, you guys have been absolutely fucking gold. And honestly, we can't do this shit without you guys. I know that sounds corny and cliche, but we're not just doing it to talk in a vacuum. We want everybody to kind of spread this because it's all about, the JFK shit. We all inherit this small planet. We all breathe the same air. We all cherish our children's futures, and we are all mortal. And, we're all in this together, man. We truly are. The divide and conquer will not work unless we let it work. So that's all I got, man. Peace and all of them kinds of love. Patrick?
Travis Lund, yes, I have been through International Falls, Minnesota. I used to go up through there on fishing trips going into Canada and north of Lake of the Woods at the in the English River system, where if you caught a pike that was about 1.5 feet long, you just leave it on. The first time I caught a pike that was even just, like probably a 4-pound pike or whatever, my buddies who owned property up there, cabins and stuff, said, just leave it on, dude. And I go, what? And they go, just leave it on. The big one's coming. and Sure enough, man, you know, 42-inch or 45-inch pike and friggin' nail it and inhale it, and then you got a 45-foot incher that you're fighting all of a sudden, dude. That's a great fishing up there. So yeah, man. Hey, I love International Falls. Cool part of the country up there.
Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, support the farm, support the family, support the show, theconspiracyfarm.com. And yeah, until next week. Actually, we do possibly have another show coming up tomorrow with a young lady. I'm going to make sure she's all dialed in, but we got some more pain to bring next week. And definitely will be fired up the week after, because like I said, my boy is training. He's in the dungeon. He's like Rocky and Rocky IV, climbing fucking mountains in Russia. Obviously not right now, but you know.
I tell you what, for my age, black oxygen's working, because in 92-degree heat on Sunday, I did 50-yard sprints up a hill. Did hill sprints, 50-yard hill sprints, and I was cooking. I was cooking definitely, and hitting some good. What did I do? 300 or 400 push-ups and a bunch of crunches. And laid there in the sun and stretched and stuff, and got a little sun. And I tell you what, man, black oxygen and chemical free are working.
It works. So. I'm just telling you, it works. And gentlemen, specifically to the gentlemen, it will keep your dick hard like Rottweiler. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure. Till next week, or until we next meet again. Patrick, you know I love you, brother. Stay tuned, everybody. There'll always be more. See ya.